Hello students, welcome to the 2021 State of Ohio Test for Biology. This is part 2. A table shows information about several traits displayed by different groups of plants. At the top, we have the different groups of plants. We have algae, ferns, ginkgo, liverwort, spruce, and wheat. Here are the traits: cones, cuticles, flowers, needles, seeds, and stomata. Question number 5. The following item has two parts. First answer part A, then answer part B. Part A. Select the two most derived groups of plants that share the most common recent ancestor. There may be more than one correct answer. So what we need to go over here and find, if we're looking for plants that have the most recent common ancestor, they better have a lot of traits in common. So I see the ginkgo here has 1, 2, 3, 4 traits in common with the spruce. That sounds pretty good. I see the spruce has 1, 2, 3 traits in common with the wheat. Okay? I can see the ginkgo has 1, 2, 3 traits also with the wheat. I'm going to choose to go with the ginkgo and the spruce. Okay? So we got ginkgo and spruce because they got a lot of traits in common. In part B, select each trait shared among the most recent common ancestor that you identified in part A and its descendant groups. There may be more than one answer. So my ginkgo shares cones with the spruce. Ginkgo shares cuticles with the spruce. Ginkgo share seeds with the spruce. And ginkgo share stomata with the spruce. Okay? Now, going back to part A, you could also say ginkgo and wheat have a lot of things in common. You can say the spruce and the wheat have a lot of traits in common. So those all could be correct answers. Now let's go to question number 6. Which statement explains the relationship among the ginkgo, the spruce, and the wheat? These three plant groups are all equally related. No, they don't all have exactly the same traits. Ginkgos are more ancient than spruce or wheat. The ginkgos are more ancient than spruce and wheat? Now, there's no evidence of that. A group that contains ginkgo and spruce is the ancestor of wheat. So that would mean the ginkgo and the spruce would come after wheat. Or finally, D. Spruce share an ancestor with a group that contains ginkgo and wheat. That's something we can say for certainty, that the spruce share ancestors with a group that contains ginkgo and wheat. So all those things that they have in common, this would be the correct answer. Problem number 9. Let me make that a little larger. The sand goby is a small fish found in Europe's Baltic Sea. During mate selection, females overwhelmingly choose males with large body sizes. In some parts of the Baltic, algae overgrowths are causing the water to become increasingly cloudy. In the cloudy water, females have trouble identifying the larger males. What can you predict will happen if female sand gobies continue to have difficulties identifying large males during selection? Well, A, there will be a change in how often genes for large size occur in the population. B, there will be an increase in resource competition between the large and small males. C, there will be an immigration of new sand goby population from different habitat. Or D, there will be a mutation in genes for eyesight that will improve the vision in females. Well, we can eliminate D. There will be a mutation. You can't predict if there's going to be a mutation. C, there will be an immigration of new sand goby population. How do you know there's going to be an immigration of new goby population? B, there will be an increase in the resource competition between large and small males. A, there will be a change in how often genes for large size occur in the population. And that is our answer, A. If the female cannot see to identify large males, that means the gene size that's going to go on in future populations is going to be different. So there will be a change in how often the genes for large size occur in the population. That is the correct answer. Question number 10. About 200 years ago, the population of Antarctic fur seals, okay, I won't read the big name, on islands near Antarctica was estimated between 160,000 and 180,000 individual seals. When explorers discovered the islands, they began intensive hunting of the seals for their fur and stopped only when there was no more seals left to hunt. Around 50 years ago, scientists discovered and protected a small colony of 25 seals and began recording the size of the population over time. Their data are shown in the graph. So let's look at the graph here. We can see the population up here, and we have years. Okay? Now, let's see what we got here. Enter a number into the table to identify the year at which the fur seal population began to recover from the intensive hunting. B. Enter the number into the table to identify the new carrying capacity of the ecosystem for the Antarctic fur seals. There may be more than one correct answer. So let's look at A. Enter a number into the table to identify the year, so we're talking about down to bottom here, at which the fur seal population began to recover from intensive hunting. So if we look here, we can see, it's starting to go up here. So this would be 11, 12, and right at 13. So I would say the year the population recovery began was year 13. Enter a number in the table to identify the new carrying capacity of the ecosystem for the Antarctic fur seals. So if we look here, it doesn't go as high as 10,000, but it's between 8,000 and 10,000. Each one of these squares is 500, so this would be 8,500. This would be 9,000. This would be 9,500, and this would be 10,000. So when does the carrying capacity reach? You go straight across here. Okay, that's 8,500, and as you can see, they went above the carrying capacity and they leveled off here. That would be the carrying capacity, approximately 8,500. Let's continue with question number 18. Scientists introduce a small population of reindeer onto a remote island. The reindeer population adapts to the island's ecosystem without the threat of any natural predators by relying on the local lichen, fungi, and algae as a food source. The graph shows the population of reindeer on the island over time. So here we have the number of reindeer, and this is the number of years. As you can see throughout the years, the reindeer are growing very well until they get up here and then they just drop off. So what happened? Which statement explains a possible cause for the change in the reindeer population over time as it is shown in this graph? So what caused this to happen? Is it A, the reindeer population never reaches equilibrium? B, the reindeer and the lichen share a symbiotic relationship where both benefit? The island resources could not sustain the reindeer population? Or D, the rate of reindeer birth on the island was equal to the rate of reindeer deaths? Well, D cannot be the answer. The reindeer population is true. It never reached an equilibrium, but why? Okay, and as we know, the reindeer and the lichen did not share a symbiotic relationship. The correct answer is C. The island resources could not sustain the reindeer population. In other words, the reindeer ran out of food, and that is why the sudden drop-off. Our next question is number 16. The graph shows the diversity of marine invertebrates over the last 300 million years. 3 time periods are marked. So let's look at our picture here, our graph. Over on the left, we see the number of marine invertebrate groups. And we got 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. And we have different time periods in million years. Okay, so we have 300 million years, 200 million years, 100 million years ago, and then till today. Okay, so the diversity of marine invertebrates. Select the boxes to match the 3 time periods to each of the environmental descriptions in the table. So, let's look at this one. Marine environments remain relatively stable. So if we go back to time 1, well, it looks pretty stable to me. So we're going to put time 1 is when the marine environment remained relatively stable. Let's look at number 3. Volcanic eruptions significantly reduce the amount of dissolved oxygen in the ocean. Well, that would affect things, make our number go down. So if we look at number 2, time number 2, that's when that happened. Time number 2. Finally, unused resources and ecological niches were available in the environment. So if we have a lot of resources and there's nice places for the organisms to live and being their niche, that would be time period number 3. And that concludes our part 2 of 2021 state test. Thank you.